Tiny Shed Life here. Today we're going over Justin Rhodes' mobile chicken coop. Is it really that awesome? I got a few things that I liked about it, a few things that I didn't like about it, but we'll get all into that in a second. All right, I also have a few tips on how I got the chickens in there each night, and then we'll also be going over the Joel Salatin meat chicken coop, how I utilize that.
Tune in and break away. Forget our fear of what comes after. Hold on for better days. Let our past begin to shatter. Days like these, we can see the way to live out a new chapter. Tides come our way.
All right, guys, what do you think? You like your coop? Yes. They don't speak, I'm just kidding. If you look up on how to take care of chickens from Google, it's going to tell you don't do this, don't do that. You're going to kill them if you do this, or, keep them in there for 8 weeks. And some of it is good, but the biggest thing you can do is actually just do it and use your common sense. So I kept those chickens in for 2 weeks. I used fine shavings and I moved them outside. And honestly, it was the greatest batch of chickens I've done because the monitoring as far as in the brooder, everything that goes with that are cut in half, okay? We left them in there for 8 weeks the last couple of rounds. And it's just too long and things get too dirty, and in my opinion, it's unhealthy. So I moved them out, and I'll show you what I moved them into next. I put them in this for, I think it was another 2 weeks. And they did great. They scratched. They were allowed to be chickens. They were out and clean. I moved it once a day, so they never were in their poop long. The Justin Rhodes inspired mobile chicken coop. And then, guys, again, to get your chicks in here, I started off with the big chickens, and they seemed not to get it. They would sleep on top here as opposed to going inside. I'd have about 10 to 15 inside and then about 10 on top. I have fit 27 birds in here, and I've looked in there, and they've got plenty of room. It calls for 40, but I don't know. I don't have 40 chickens yet to stuff inside there. So I started off with the big chickens, and then I went to these small chickens just because I figured I could train them easier. And basically, guys, I put them in there at night. I leave them in there until about 10, 11 o'clock to the next day. They've got their food and their water in there, and they're just basically making themselves at home, kind of realizing that, hey, my food and water are in here, and I'm going to come back and get comfortable with the coop itself. All right, the first positive thing that I do like, it's very sturdy. He does have a, I wouldn't say weird way, but he has a different way of framing it. There's basically no bottom plate like in traditional framing. There's a top one, but he uses brackets to screw everything down. And that was a little hard, keeping everything level and, upright, but we got through it. The plans were pretty easy to follow. Second biggest positive is that if we can get over that bush, my 10-year-old son can pick it up and move it. I don't have to. Of course, he looks like he's struggling, but it's caught in the brush. So that's good. I love the door. I don't know why, but I feel like it's freaking, a drawbridge on a castle. It stows away perfectly, seamlessly. I just like it. All right, things I didn't like about the Justin Rhodes mobile chicken coop. Number one is the crates. Obviously, I can't do anything about this, but I wish the crates, the holes, were a little bit smaller because a raccoon can reach his hand inside these crates and grab a chicken. And I've had chickens pretty much get their heads ripped off because they were curious or, whatever. Second thing I didn't like was that Justin Rhodes' building plans called for inch wide hardware cloth, and I had to put 1/2 inch only because the raccoons, they can literally reach their hands through the squares, the 1 inch squares. They cannot on the 1/2 inch. So that was another drawback, and the reason that is a drawback is because their poop doesn't necessarily fall through the holes like it's supposed to if it was 1 inch. So I have to come in here and kind of scrape it out or wash it out every couple of days just so that way things remain clean. All right, guys, if you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. I hope some of these tips help you out. If you're interested in building the mobile chicken coop from Justin Rhodes, he's got a book out, or you can buy the plans online. Like I said, it wasn't too hard. I do a few things different as far as framing wise, but other than that, it was perfect, and it was fun building it. And I built it with my kids. Get your kids out there, help you, make them learn something. All right, guys, don't forget, like and subscribe.